I think those are barrettes, man.
Oh. Wolverine and the X-Men seems to have a lot of characters.
Wolverine and the X-Men is a plot, a mystery, and a new beginning.
Wolverine and the X-Men is relaxing and exciting.
Ooh, wait, what?
Interesting.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fallingtower's Watch the First podcast, the podcast in which we watch first episode of a series so that you don't have to. Of course, today, you can, definitely. Of course, today, we are doing Marvel's Wolverine and the X-Men series, episode 1, entitled Hindsight, Part 1. Dr. Muhammad Noor is here, as always.
Hello, always a pleasure to be on Fallingtower's Watch the First of Things, especially with today's guest.
Yes, we have a very special guest today. Finally, thank goodness. Actor, writer, director, producer, funny man, Desmon Heck is here.
What's up, Jive Turkeys? Hello.
My name is Ryan
You
T.
got the
Husk.
Jive Turkey early this time.
Yeah, I'm like none of those things, I think.
You're awesome. Come on.
Awesome all right.
Host.
Thank you. So everybody at home, if you'd like us to review a show, in the comments below, just tell us what show you'd like us to review. Just type WTF and the show. That means watch the first, and let us know where we can find it or stream it. Like in this case, you would have said WTF Wolverine and the X-Men on Disney+. That's it. Let's get into it, shall we?
Yay.
Now it's Ryan's favorite part of the show, which is the predicaments, where we predict what each other thought of the show after watching it.
Mm-hmm. It is my favorite part. So everybody, if you'd like to see my favorite part of the show, first, please make sure you like this video. You're subscribed to this show. If you're listening in, please give it a 5-star rating and some kind of review. And, hit the share button and send it out to the world. Let everybody know about this fun thing. All right. Let's make our predictions. Desmond and I have known each other for I feel like, 15 years maybe, huh?
It's years, yeah, man. Back in Blockbuster days.
Wow.
So it's
so we know each other pretty well. Muhammad and I know each other pretty well. Desmond and Muhammad you're getting there, knowing each other.
We're building up to that.
So I think we can make some pretty good predictions. Muhammad, I predict you're going to be pretty high on this thing. I think you like Marvel stuff. I think you have fun with it. I think this was 2008 or 2009, everybody at home. So it's kind of an updated version of the X-Men.
2009.
We did do the 1992 X-Men back in the day as well. By the way, everybody, this is Disney spin-off month. So give us your Disney spin-offs for this month. Anyway, so I predict very high, pretty high for you, Muhammad, like maybe around the 8s range, maybe 8.5. I think you're going to like it. JT, I think you are also going to be pretty high on it. Actually, right around the same level as Muhammad, maybe 8 or 8.5. I think you guys really enjoy this. It's not going to save the world like MacGyver does.
Or like they actually do.
Yeah, that's true. But I think you're going to like it a lot. What do you think, Muhammad?
Ryan, I was going to predict fairly positively for you as well. Actually, I think I'll predict positively for both of y'all. I think, Ryan, I'm sure you'll have some, things that you feel could have been done better, but I think overall you'll feel like this was a good overall show. It's exciting. I know you like Marvel in general. Desmond, yeah, same. I think you're going to be fairly positive as well. I mean, I could see you both in the 7 to 8 range there.
Cool. Muhammad, I think you're going to love the show a lot. I was thinking you'd give it a perfect 10. But and then Ryan, I was thinking you would not like the show, because you're more of the Simon Cowell of the group. So I think you feel a little bit more harsh on it, based on all the many X-Men's that have been out there. You might be a little bit more harsh on this one. That's what I'm predicting.
All right. Good stuff. So everybody at home, it's time for you to make your predictions. Do you think Simon Cowell liked it? Do you think Dr. Noor here liked it, occasional science advisor for Star Trek? Do you think Desmond Heck, actor extraordinaire, enjoyed this show. Why or why not? Let us know either in the live chat right now or in the comments below. Make your predictions. Take your time. Dr. Noor here is going to buy you a little bit of time by telling us all what this show is even about.
I will indeed. Thanks for that intro. As Wolverine is preparing to leave Professor Xavier's school, a mysterious explosion occurs, causing the mutants to vanish or flee. A year later, Wolverine comes across a family in an accident and rescues the daughter, but is hurt in the process. The family protects him, but the Militant Mutant Response Division, or MRD, breaks into the house and takes the family prisoner. Wolverine escapes and returns to Xavier's school. He finds Beast, and he breaks into MRD's base. They free the family together, as well as the other incarcerations they find there, but they know this is but one battle in a long war. Wolverine closes out the episode with a plan. We bring back the X-Men.
Nice description.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Wait a second. Just realized something. I'm seeing those characters in the background, Muhammad, in your background wearing X-Men gear.
Oh, yeah.
That must have been from, so this
must be
must be episode 2.
Yeah, it must be from a later episode. I just Googled and pulled that up.
I was literally going to say something about what you just said, and I was like, oh, wait, looks like we got our answer right behind you. Anyway, but we'll get into that in just a moment, everybody. We're not quite there yet. Where are we, Muhammad?
This is my favorite part of the show. This is the one we like to call Expectation, where we spend a little bit of time on what you might expect, and then most of the rest of the show on what you actually get in this show. So I'm excited.
All right, so let's compare and contrast what we expected, but with what we got without the violence this time.
Okay. Come on, it's X-Men. They're violent.
You're right. So I'll tell you what I expected. I do love the X-Men. I loved them as a kid growing up and being like, cool, Wolverine and all these Beast guys and, and Storm and Rogue and Gambit and all, it's just a fun Professor X, it was a cool thing. I was definitely more of an X-Men guy than say Avengers guy, and certainly much more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy, and still to this day. And I remember watching the cartoon when I was a kid, the 90s cartoon, and really liking that a lot as well. So I'm like, I saved this watch for the morning so I could feel like I'm watching like a Saturday morning cartoon. I'm going to get my bowl of Apple Jacks, figuratively. Of course, I think it was like healthy granola, but like whatever. So I was excited. I was like, let's enjoy ourselves some X-Men. That's what I expected. Dr. Noor, what did you expect?
Yeah, Captain Crunch sounds like he could be an X-Men, doesn't he?
Who? That's true. Ooh,
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Crunch. He comes in. Yeah. Anyway, I'd seen the X-Men movies, so that's actually how I know the X-Men mostly. I don't think I ever watched the cartoons with them before, but I knew the movies pretty well. And actually, that was something I was anticipating was going to be, a cartoon version of it. And I'd seen like this version of Wolverine in like pictures and things like that, so I knew that he doesn't look the same as he does in the movies. That was about as much as I knew. I mean, I figured it was just going to be like just starting off with like the X-Men are going out and trying to save people, but I didn't have any specific expectations in terms of the plot or where things were going to be starting or anything like that. I didn't assume there would be like an overall arc or anything like that. I figured it might be just something episodic. Mm-hmm. So that's where I started.
Desmond, however, on the other hand, what did you expect before watching this first episode?
I figured it would be like your typical Saturday morning cartoons. Do they still do Saturday morning cartoons, or is that completely? Well, I guess it's like everyday cartoons now because it's the internet.
Yeah,
but yeah, I remember back in the day when I was 5 billion years ago, you'd watch your cartoons on Saturday or after school. You have your after school cartoons you'd watch. I figured it'd be like a typical one of that. As a kid, I was obsessed with. I had this weird fixation with Storm. I'd always go to the library and read the comics with Storm in it because I thought she looked really cool. And I was like, oh, it's like a black woman and she's an action hero. This is pretty awesome, man. For some reason, man. But so it was exciting. But yeah, I just figured it would be like one of those.
Mm-hmm. It was badass. Love her.
Yeah. All right. So I jumped the gun earlier. Usually Muhammad starts us off. So Muhammad, please start us off with what we actually got, because now everybody knows what we expected. So this is it. The mysteries will be solved. Oh, he's got the clipboard, everybody. Good luck.
Now I'm ready.
Oh, no.
Dr. Nora.
All the mini flaw. Actually,
what did you actually get?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I feel like it was a good story. I mean, just, this sort of, there was this almost cold open there where, Wolverine's somehow leaving. We didn't really find out why he was leaving. I thought that was, interesting. What's going on? Is he just going to like the store? Oh, it looks like everybody's pretty dramatic about it. So probably he's not just going to the store. He seems to be leaving. Something going on with Rogue. Then there's that weird, flash explosion. And then it's like, okay, something went down. And that, to me, that was really enticing. Because I mean, I'm so used to things that are just being fully episodic, like, where basically you could just take the episodes in any order. This was nice. This was actually something that got me intrigued. It was good revealing. I was a little bit worried at first that there would be too many characters, because I was trying to figure out who are people, since again I'm used to the live action versions. I don't know the cartoon ones. It's like, who is that? I was trying to write it down. Like, what that was? Okay, Rogue. I guess Jean Grey. Yeah, I was trying to write them all down, but it didn't end up mattering because after those first couple of minutes they were just gone. Like, oh, okay, good. Right. So the fact that I didn't get them all was fine. The plot for the specific episode was fairly predictable, in the sense that, like, yeah, I didn't figure the family was going to get like slaughtered or imprisoned forever or anything like that. That would have been pretty extremely dark.
Slaughtered.
That would have been terrible. But I figured they would probably get broken out, and I figured he was going to start finding some of these folks too. So I mean, the specific episode was a little predictable, but it's okay. I mean, it's like a superhero. I mean, there's no superhero show that isn't at least a little bit predictable. I think people get mad if they were. I get, with the possible exception of what's the name of the crazy guy?
There are a lot of those.
Anyway, I'll think of it.
In Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh, Deadpool?
Yes, Deadpool. Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Oh.
This possible exception of Deadpool. That's like entirely unpredictable. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
I still haven't seen Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I did watch the first 20 minutes of it.
Little piece of it.
However, Desmond Heck, please tell everybody what you actually got upon viewing this first episode.
Okay, I thought it was awesome, man. I like the beginning. It just starts off, even the intro. You're like, okay, this is gonna be a lot of action. There's like so much going on. This is pretty freaking cool. And it starts off with action where they're still in the school, but there's so much going on with them, like they're doing their training or whatever. And then Wolverine's like, oh, this is all me, and he busts out and leaves. I liked how it was very this is going to sound weird, but it was super relaxing at the beginning of the episode, because there was the background. It was very, very green and very peaceful looking, the area. And then it was like so quiet in between them talking. I don't know. I was like, I could put this on before I went to bed to go to sleep or something. This is like very relaxing, peaceful. But as the show progressed, you got more action suspense going on, which I thought was super cool. And then also the I don't know, like the characters themselves. It's like, I like how because they're mutants, so they're seen as freaks, and so I think a lot of us can relate to that, especially like when you're younger, like you feel like you don't fit in with everybody, or you feel like you're kind of like weird, especially like when you're younger. Like I remember as a kid, I myself felt like I was the outcast and the social weird one. So it was like nice to relate to. Okay, well, this guy has his own superpowers, but people look at him like, oh, he's kind of weird. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah, but there's so much. I could keep talking, but I'm going to shut up now. Keep going, man. I'll be here for like 30 minutes just talking about the show.
That's what we're gonna do, though. That's perfect.
Okay.
I'll tell y'all what I actually got here. I've never been socially awkward. Just kidding. I still am, but especially when I was a kid. So I got you there, Desmond, for sure. Look, this wasn't as good as I expected, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, it was still good, and I still enjoyed it. But it was like, first of all, the intro had 10 characters, and we only saw like 4 of them in this opening episode. And we were introduced to a bunch of other characters, superheroes or whatever, mutants, that are not in this, in the intro. Like, for example, Colossus, he's in this picture here, right? In the intro, they introduced like 10 people, and he wasn't one of the people introduced. Like it showed
Oh, the intro. Oh, okay.
In the
Just
intro
people
song.
just hanging around. Yeah. Oh, you mean the actual intro, like the music?
Yeah, like the intro that introduces 10 characters. It's like, here's Wolverine, here's Cyclops, here's Jean Grey, here's Storm, or whatever. Or there was no Jean Grey, but then the first thing you see is all of these X-Men that are not here, like that are not in the introduction, like Professor X, Jean Grey, Colossus, Rogue. But anyway, we could talk about that a little later. Anyway, so what I got was something that I kind of wanted to enjoy, and I did enjoy, but it was a little like kind of made no sense. Like, what the fuck are they doing here?
You're a G.I. Joe fan. Did you think that person who's to your far right looks like Scarlet from G.I. Joe?
I could see that. She looks like a
Yeah.
younger version.
Oh, wow.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's my left, but I know that it's reversed on
Yeah.
Zoom.
I
kinda
Googled
does, but
to
a
see
younger
who she
version.
was. Yeah, I Googled to see who she was, and her name is Kitty Pryde.
That was the one I did not know, but I've heard of Kitty Pryde. Okay, I get it now. That's why he called her Kitty. He did call her Kitty. At first, when I saw the intro, I was like, oh, that's Rogue. But then I was like, oh, wait, she's got these. So that's not Rogue. Anyway, so let's talk about it, guys. I mean, like,
I didn't even notice the ears. So you just said that, like, oh.
Yeah, no, I don't even think those are ears. Those are like antennae.
It's like pigtail things, right? Breasts or something.
But then that doesn't make her a cat. That makes her. I called her Bug Lady. I thought she was a bug because she had antenna.
I think those are barrettes, man.
Oh, is that what it is?
Like for her hairstyle.
Okay.
That would make a lot more sense. I thought she was
Maybe she's Scarlet from G.I. Joe.
Yeah. So, and I don't remember her. I remember her. I remember her being an X-Men character for sure. I definitely remember her, but I can't remember what her name I can't remember. Maybe it'll come to me, but maybe we'll have to look her up.
Okay. And I was excited that our friend Fred Tetashore voices Beast.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
The blonde,
really cool.
that's Nicole Kidman too.
Oh,
she's an X-Men. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah.
Is that really Nicole Kidman doing the voice?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you're serious? Like, oh my god.
So for example, yeah, look in the first of all, the intro was cool because it gave us 10 characters and it's like super quick, the intro song, and it says, okay, here's Wolverine fighting, here's it, and so okay, these are the characters. The song was super lackluster and boring though. I was like, what?
I agree.
I was like, is this is their theme song? Okay. But it had the Bug Lady, who apparently is Kitty Pryde. It had Beast, Iceman, who was not in this episode. Had Storm. Iceman was?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, maybe I'm just remembering the intro. So I remember him just coming down real quick, but maybe that was the intro.
Yeah. Nightcrawler as well was not in it, but he was in the intro. I was calling her Snow White for now, but her name's not Snow White. Angel was also in the intro, and I don't even see him here. Yeah, he's not even in. He's not even here. The whole thing's mixed messaging. I mean, they had Angel, who's later on is Archangel, in the intro and in the big thing, and then look, you see Wolverine and the X-Men. He's not even here, and they've got the whole thing. I don't get it. I mean, I love that they have a ton of X-Men characters in this, like 20, but everything's like they're saying, oh, these are going to be the characters that are in the show. And then they aren't. And then a bunch of characters that aren't introduced are in it. And it's just, I just don't, it's weird. But I like them all.
I mean, it could be that they're the ones who are going to be eventually in the show
later on. Yeah,
because we lost so many people there. Because I remember Jean Grey was one of the ones who had supposedly vanished too, along with Professor Xavier. So maybe that's why like they're not actually part of this, even though they were in the show. They're almost more like the guest stars.
But I was happy when I saw
it would be a lot
Colossus.
to have all of them at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Do you guys have?
Might be more consistent with say episode 5, like the ones that we saw in the intro. Maybe like that's who's in episode 5, and they're on. Yeah,
but then you'd also have to like remove these people, like Colossus. He was in the show, and I was super happy to see him. I was like, whoa. these guys have Colossus. They should have told us that, because I would have been excited to see Colossus. But you guys have a favorite character? Because there's a lot to choose from.
I mean, I'm biased since I like French at the Shore. I want to say Beast.
Yeah, he's awesome. Oh, yeah, Storm.
Oh, Storm. Storm's always epic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Halle Berry version there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started thinking like the characters that were not shown at the beginning, but that ended up being in the show. I was like, they could have a show of their own. That's a cool crew. Like Professor X, Rogue, Colossus, and Jean Grey. I was like, I'd watch that show right there. Let them get their spinoff of this thing. Because that's what's cool about the X-Men. It's like every single one of them is cool.
Yeah.
Like there's not one character I don't like. And then the ones behind Muhammad, when they freed the mutants, I got super excited right away. I was like, awesome, more characters. And then they started, what was it? She's like, hey, Hotshot. And he's like, hey, whatever her name was, Bubbles or something like that.
It was like Dust. Wasn't one of them called Dust?
Dust? Like yes. That was the one in the burqa, I think.
Yeah.
Right? She was
kind of like Sandman from
yes.
Spider-Man.
Exactly that. But then who was...
They didn't write the other names down. I just wrote Dust because I thought that was cool.
Boom, and Hotshot were their names. And then Dust after that. Yeah. So I'm like, great. Now I'm being introduced to new characters. This is, anyway, good stuff.
I think they should do like a spinoff of the character Carl, the douchey guy who like was like, that'd be kind of funny, man.
Turn him into
just maybe he'll be like on everybody.
Maybe he'll be like end up being a villain later on.
Yeah.
Like he's an actual mutant himself. But
it seemed like there were little seeds too. Like, do you remember that sign it had for Genosha? Not Kenosha, like city in Wisconsin, but Genosha, the place where mutants can live in peace. But there was no elaboration of what that was about or what that is. Right? It's like interesting, but I'm assuming that's a seed for something later.
It's definitely something that has been. It's definitely a place in like the comics and in the previous cartoons where it was like an island or something like that where the mutants could go, and I think Magneto started. I mean, it's a big thing, but you're right. So I'm sure that's going to be a big part of this. Desmond, did you used to watch the X-Men at all? The cartoon or
the cartoons? No, I used to read the comics, and then I saw all the movies when the movies came out. Yeah.
Those were fun.
Yeah, man. How long ago was that? The one with Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry and was that?
I don't remember. 2000s? Yeah, that's what it feels like.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
it feels like around 2000. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the movie Logan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good. Logan's good.
Because this gave me Logan vibes when it was showing Wolverine just going off. Because that's where they started to lose me, honestly, was when he was just doing like, saving a little girl, hanging out with the family. I was like, oh man. And then I started to think, I wonder if this came out around the same time as Logan. Because Logan was kind of about that. It was less about the X-Men and the big battles, and it was more about just like a personal story of, what he's going through. So that was
awesome.
It did feel like Logan was overrepresented even in that original X-Men movie. I did feel like it was a little more heavily focused on him than most of the others. It was kind of like Logan and Rogue.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Logan came out in 2017. I thought it came out like
15
years ago.
What? Yeah,
how's that possible? I thought it came out a long ass time ago.
Everything pandemic is like 6 times longer.
Yeah.
What was the original X-Men?
Mm-hmm.
The original X-Men will be like 2012.
Yeah.
Well, Muhammad, you got a ton of notes. Do you have some favorite moments or least favorite moments?
Let's see. What are the things that I like? I was very intrigued by this sensory assault helmet torture device that MRD was using. I was like, ooh, what is that? I was very curious about what that was. Actually, I just thought the MRD in general was very interesting. I mean, they're obviously the big baddies, but I still found them very interesting in general. That was, I think, just the interactions around them as well as like the rescue from them was probably my favorite part of the overall thing. Beyond that, it was more fairly even. Like there wasn't anything that I thought was exceptionally great or anything that I thought was like, oh, that was boring. I think it was pretty even. I mean, most of what I have written down is just kind of a blow by blow what's happening. You know, Rogue is sad. You know, Flash 1 year later. I just have kind of like just statements beyond that, but it kept my attention. So.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Desmond? Did you have some favorite moments or some moments that you just were livid about?
Yes, well, I have a few notes here. Let me see
Nice.
what I say. I love the intro. It was action packed from the start. I had a strange. Oh, yeah, I already said that. I had a strange fixation with Storm as a kid. I love the background settings were cool. I liked how it was like it had like an old school cartoon vibe to it with a little bit of a modern twist to it. It just reminded me of those old school '90s cartoons. Um, when they are carrying Logan to the blanket at 7 minutes and 3 seconds, he appears headless. It looks like he doesn't have a head when they were carrying him over to the blanket. If anyone wants to look at that for future reference. Someone give Charles and Jean some Excedrin. Oh, because they kept having headaches.
Excellent.
The show is relaxing, peaceful setting. Carl's a douche. I kind of wish it was an Adult Swim cartoon because it would be cool to see Wolverine go Freddy Krueger on everybody. And I was wondering if Wolverine and Freddy Krueger are related by any chance, but I don't think so because Freddy Krueger has fake gloves. I mean, fake knives fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're cousins or something. Or yeah, I'm just kidding. And then I like the X-Men because I can relate to feeling like a mutant as a kid. And that was funny when Chewie was trying to put the shackles back on, like when they opened the truck. He's like, "Oh, wait a minute, let me put them back on really quick," and he got busted. That was funny.
I love that you call him Chewie.
Oh yeah,
because that's what Wolverine called him.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was funny. The show goes by quick. It's an easy watch. Nice action scenes. The show of their mutant. Oh, I liked how they showed the mutant powers at the end. And I've never seen the Dust superhero before. That was pretty cool. It was a very diverse casting of the characters. There's like an interracial couple, which is pretty cool. And nice setup at the end where he says, "We will bring back the X-Men." I was like, "Ooh, all right." At the very end of this shot, I'll give it a exciting.
I like something you said. I like something you said, Desmond. It's true that actually I found that I often find fight sequences kind of boring. This one I didn't really find them boring. I actually thought they were like the right length. It wasn't just this back and forth and fight. And I felt like, okay,
right.
Interest because like it's just the same thing, or because sometimes they also just go like overly comical, and I don't like that either. But to me, this was just right in terms of that.
Yeah.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, Ryan, I think Dust is a new character because I don't remember her either.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I recognize her or the name. Just like I very vaguely remember Kitty Pryde. Once you mentioned the name, I'm like, oh, that's right. I remember that was a Kitty Pryde. But I feel like she turned into a cat, like a little werewolf. And I'm still mad that I can't remember this blonde girl because she's definitely a character. Right now, there's somebody screaming at the screen saying, it's obviously whatever her name is. I'm gonna be like, oh, shit, you're right. I remember now. But I can't quite
leave it in the comments.
Get it. Yeah. I mean, for me, what I like most about, this kind of thing is just seeing all the different characters, all the freaks or all the antisocial people or all the the people that are shunned and the mutants and all that. And they're all different and they all have special abilities. I mean, that's obviously just a metaphor for life. We all have special abilities. We're all useful and valuable in our own ways. And, you just have to kind of find where that fits in. And that's what's kind of cool about, superhero shows like this is what I like is a crew that work together and you see their different powers and their different personalities and how they come together and how they work those out. It's just fun. It's just a super creative avenue for writers to be able to say, okay, we need a new superhero or supervillain. Okay, this one has extra powerful hearing, but she's blind or something, because they always have like a weakness too, whether it's a personality flaw or a physical weakness. And so it's super interesting to see all the new ideas and superhero characters and abilities that the writers come up with. That kind of stuff has just always been interesting, fascinating to me.
Well said.
Yeah,
Good cast
the way you
overall.
described it.
It was interesting the part that you were saying that bothered you, Ryan. It actually didn't particularly bother me. The intro, like how the intro and the first set didn't match with the people who we saw later in the episode. That didn't especially bother me. Like I said, I still feel like that's going to get resolved by episode 5. It's going to be like the intro is who you see in the show. But I hear what you're saying nonetheless. I mean, it was a tease.
Okay, got it. It's Emma Frost. That's who it is.
Her name is
Emma Frost.
Okay.
I remember from one of the live action movies. Yeah.
So she and Iceman, maybe they're buddies because they're both ice people. Yeah, Emma Frost.
I like that dance you did. Yeah.
The other thing I liked though was just that they, what confused me was how they showed that they were going to have these 10 characters, but they only used some of them, and then they brought other characters. But then I'm like, well, that's going to end up doubling the amount of cool characters. There's the 10 here that they initially introduced, and then there's the 10 that are being brought in that we didn't know about. But, for me, with these kinds of shows, almost invariably, it's the more the merrier. You keep introducing new characters, and I'm happy. Just all these new, even if some die or whatever, whatever, they're cartoons. But, it's just fun to see new characters and new superheroes, and, seeing the ones behind Muhammad. It's just exciting because then there's the ones that split off like X-Force and Excalibur and all that. There was all these extra teams. And I think there was like an X-Men Gold team and X-Men Blue team. I mean, it just goes on forever. So, I'm thinking maybe this show will dive into all of those. I don't know.
Plus, is, when you're a kid, it's like you have your own favorite X-Men character, so it's cool seeing when they pop it, like, oh yeah, there's Judge Judy showing up, in this episode, or
she was one of my favorites too.
Yeah. Judge Judy, she was a good one.
What was her super?
My favorite from the movies was Jean Grey, which we didn't really get this much. I mean, aside from just like the super quick headache, and then
Jean Grey, yeah,
I always liked it.
Yeah, she'll probably show up though, like more.
I'm guessing at some point. I mean, it could be like the intro sequence for Star Trek Voyager, where like there's all these people and they're like, yeah, they're all gone now.
Right. What happened?
Doesn't sound like you guys have any real nitpicks on this show, though. Nothing.
No, I mean, it was a little bit. So I mean, it's interesting because I enjoyed it, and I felt like the flow was good and everything like that. But actually, I didn't feel like there were special highs. I mean, this came out when you were asking about when I look at my notes, for example, I don't have anything like, oh, this was a really funny scene, or oh, this was a really great scene. It was more like it was steady. It was steady. It was easy, and to use your word, Desmond, it was very relaxing to watch. But there was never a point where I was like sitting at the edge of my seat. I was like, it was just engaged, but I didn't feel like the highs were not that high. There were no lows, but like the highs weren't especially high. It was just kind of steady.
I think I'm like because I like horror movies and suspense stuff. So I think if it was more of like the Logan movie, it was like a lot more violence and like I noticed this when Wolverine was fighting, it was a very PG version of him fighting, so he wouldn't like slash anybody. He would just slash the guns and then like punch people. Mm-hmm. So I would have liked it if it was like a grown up version of it, which would have been. But I get the demographics, so yeah, for what it was, I liked it.
There was one nitpick I had, and I'm totally just looking at this through the eyes of an adult. As a kid, it would not have bothered me at all. But when I think the family was being interrogated or something, and the bad guys are like, "Tell us where Wolverine is. He's dangerous." And the little girl says, "No, he's not." And I'm like, yeah, he is. Yeah. He's extremely dangerous. He was nice to you and he's nice to other people and he decides who he wants to kill or not. But he is extremely dangerous, especially to the bad guys.
It's like you step in the show and tell you're like, yes, he is.
Yeah, I wanted to.
That actually is a fair nitpick. That in general, I thought the family stuck up for him a little bit too much. Like really to the cost of your own safety there. It was a little bit too intense. Like this guy did one, admittedly very, very great thing, but like the fact that they were willing to like get in, taken away and imprisoned and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that was a little bit like, okay, I'm not sure how realistic that is, but works for the plot.
They secretly were Wolverine fans before, so they
maybe that's what it was. They're like, we finally got him in our room. We can't lock him in, but maybe we can convince him to stay.
You're gonna break his ankles.
Oh, okay, like Misery, huh?
Yeah. Good night.
Well, Desmond here has never had his ankles broken, I'm willing to bet.
No.
But let's talk about what you have done, Desmond. How are you? What's new in your world, by the way?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm still like doing my regular thing. Am I supposed to talk about myself? Like,
Well,
yeah.
I've got a specific question I'd like to ask you.
Okay.
And that is, have you ever been to Indiana? And tell
Oh
us about
yes, I did.
it.
Yeah, I was just in Indiana for like a friend of mine was shooting a horror short about a ghost train. So he like flew me and another actress out there to shoot it. It was really fun. I've never been to Indiana before. It's kind of cool. It's like it's very peaceful there, and then it's very there's parking everywhere. It's pretty calm and somber there. It was pretty tight. Yeah, we shot on this haunted train bridge, which is pretty exciting. It's pretty scary at the same time because I spook easily. Yeah, it was pretty fun, man. Pretty cool.
I love your highlight that you mentioned of Indiana is that there's parking.
Oh yeah, that's parking, man.
You
Yeah,
can tell you're from LA.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
big.
Right?
That's important, man.
What
I was
city
like,
was
well, you
this?
don't have to pay for parking. You don't have to parallel park anywhere. Like, yeah, it's just parking everywhere. It's pretty true, man.
What city was this in Indiana?
Oh, Indiana. Yeah, was it in this city called Vincennes? And yeah, it was pretty cool. We went to like this kind of like the we went to like this president's house, and it was like restored, and so you could like go. There was like still a lot of artifacts that were there from back then were still there. You could feel like the energy of just like being around all that old history and stuff. It was pretty exciting.
Wow, I'm looking it up. Yeah,
Is that near
it's
the
a French
capital?
name.
I don't know.
Indianapolis. Like, what did you fly into when you flew in?
Oh, we flew in Indianapolis, and
Okay.
it was maybe it was like a 2 hour drive from there.
Oh, so pretty far.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
In a sense, I don't know that one. I mean, I know some of the areas like near Chicago, like when you get up near,
Oh,
Erie,
yeah.
South Bend, and all those things. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Vincennes is basically in the middle of Indianapolis, Louisville, and St. Louis, and it's right on the border of Indiana and what is that, Missouri, I guess.
And what's trippy is the time zone. It's like if you go over the bridge, there's like a time zone switch. So they're saying on New Year's Eve you can celebrate New Year's Eve twice. You just go over the bridge and you're far behind, and then you go. So it's pretty cool, man.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
that's true.
That's great. Okay, horror. You do a lot of horror though, Desmond. That seems to be a thing, and you got some horror behind you. Is
Oh yeah, I
that
like scary.
your favorite genre, or do you secretly like another genre even more?
I like the creepy stuff. Yeah, like horror and suspense. I've always been like a big horror fan. Yeah, it's definitely my cup of tea. I read like a lot of horror books, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. I don't know. I think because my I don't know, my strong Christian upbringing, and then so like I like stuff that's like scares me or just like, oh, this isn't normal. Yeah, so I just like watching. I like being scared a lot and jumping in the movie theater.
What movie has scared you the most ever?
Dude, the most ever. When I was a little kid, when I saw Aliens for the first time, I couldn't sleep for like a whole week because I was completely spooked.
The
Now
sequel, huh?
The second one, yeah, because I saw the second one before I saw the first one. Because my parents were like, oh, we need to watch this movie, and it completely traumatized me as a kid. I mean, I've seen it. I love the movie now. I've seen it like 5 billion times, and it's exciting to watch now.
Me too.
But as a
One of the
kid, it was
best
like
ever.
scary. It's scary, man. I was afraid that thing was gonna like stick on my face, or like jump out the toilet or something, and like, when you're a kid, it's like traumatizing. But yeah, but now it's like, I mean, it's fine now. But
what's your favorite horror thing that you've been a part of?
that I've been a part of,
Yeah.
Probably my movie Spider, which is available on Tubi now. If anybody wants to watch it for free, it's on Tubi.
Nice.
I mean, it's just fun doing that. Just because I don't know, it's fun like filming your own stuff and seeing it come to life on screen, which is really cool.
So if anybody wants to see Spider on Tubi, it feels like that's something that you might get a few, results in the search engine, I'm guessing, because it's just one word.
Mm.
What year did it come out?
Last year, 2022.
Okay, so just do
But
a search for Spider 2022, Desmond Heck.
Yeah,
How long is it?
It's like an hour and a half, like
Okay.
hour 37 minutes. But yeah, if you type my name, it pulls up too. Or if you type, even if you type Spider, you'll see it. It's easy to find. It's pretty, yeah.
Awesome. And are you easy to find, Desmond Heck, for anybody that
Yes,
wants
I
to
am.
follow you online and check out all of your goodies?
Yeah, you could. I'm on Santa Monica Boulevard, and on Saturday nights, you can find me there. And no, I'm just kidding. No, just go on. If you just go Google Desmond Heck, my Twitter and Instagram are Desmond Heck. Yeah, I'm very easy to find. Say what's up. I'm not very active on social media, but yeah, I mean, if you want to say what's up, I'm on there. Boo.
But everybody at home, check out this picture he sent of himself. Come on. Go
All
follow
right.
this guy.
Oh, wow.
That's
a
you
great
know you
picture.
want to follow this guy online.
Ooh.
Come on.
Is that Lando Calrissian in a tank top?
He wishes.
He wishes.
All right. Well, let's move forward. This is going to be a lot of fun as well. The fun's not quite over. Muhammad's got his karate chopping gear.
Yep.
Why though?
Because it's the bottom line where we say what we thought finally as the bottom line of the show. We have nothing terrible to say, only bottom line.
I feel like Zoom auto-corrected your bottom line into terrible twos or vice versa.
Nothing terrible.
Voice
terrible.
Voice
twos.
corrected. Do you ever like voice text and then it just makes the absolute worst thing? You're like, that's not anywhere near what I was saying.
Yeah. It's funny with our cars, it's like that too. Like our old car actually was pretty good. And we got the new car and it's like I may as well just make up words because like it's not even close ever what we say.
Anyway, this has been Old Guys Complain About Technology. All right.
Get off my lawn.
So the final two questions of the day, the two most important questions of the day, and they go a little something like this. Dr. I actually really like this part of the show too, come to think of it. I get all spruced up for it. Dr. Muhammad Noor, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this first episode of Wolverine and the X-Men?
So yeah, I didn't feel like it had any particular weaknesses. Like, you know, if I was, let's say I was 12, like I would just be like, wow, this is like the best show ever and stuff like that. That said, I also didn't feel like there weren't the big highs I was expecting. Like, I was kind of expecting there to be some like really exciting scenes. And, you know, it was fine. I will give props though and bonus points too for the fact that it was a slow reveal with an arc and things like that. And I thought that to me is a big sell. So I like that. So on balance, putting all these things together, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Not bad. Not bad.
Solid.
Desmond and I were pretty close there.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you want to find out what succession level means, check out WTF episode number 167. That one just came out.
Not too long ago.
Not just a couple weeks ago. Succession. We reviewed that one. Did we like it? Did we hate it? Check it out. Episode number 167. Desmond, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this first episode of Wolverine and the X-Men?
Well, no, I give it a 9. I thought it was very exciting. It held my attention. I didn't even notice it at the time. By the time the episode was over, I was like, oh, I didn't even feel like it was 20 minutes. It went by really quick. And it held my attention the whole time. I thought it was very captivating. I thought it was entertaining, fun to watch, relaxing at times. I was like, oh, this is a cool one. I could just throw on it anytime I'm just working or, want to like lie down and watch something. I like the characters, of course, because of X-Men. It's always fun characters. Yeah, I gave it a 9. Especially if I was younger, I'd really be hooked on the show. Just because the way it was set up. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, it's time for me to be the grouch of the group.
Simon Cowell. Here we go.
I actually gave it a 6 in my notes.
Wow.
That may have been a little harsh because I like this kind of stuff. Another thing we didn't talk about was I didn't really like the animation style. I don't know why.
It was a retro thing. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the retro.
It just felt too angular. You know, like everybody's like got these weird angles. It's too stylistic. I just like cartoons to just look like cartoon versions of whatever they are. I don't need them to have like a weird or interesting take or surreal view of, you know, it just kind of takes me out of it. And it's not their fault. It's just that's totally a subjective thing. So that's why I don't really knock them too much for that, because what does that mean? I don't like it. That doesn't mean anything. It just felt very confusing. Like it was very mixed messages, and that would have annoyed me a lot more, but it didn't bother me too much because I was just like, hey, they're not showing these characters, but they're showing these characters. You know what I mean? So I was like, still like excited. I just felt like overall it wasn't that great, but it wasn't bad. It was certainly on the good end of things, and I did still enjoy it, and I love that stuff, and I love every single one of these characters. Even you, Emma Frost. Sorry, I forgot your name. Kinda.
Kitty Pryde too.
And Kitty Pryde. So sorry, I thought I called you Bug Lady. First, I called her Rogue, and I was like, "Oh no, she's got things. That must be Bug Lady."
She's got Bug Lady here. Like,
I just called her Scarlet until I looked it up.
Scarlet, dude, the outfit. You're right.
Yeah,
but this is obviously Rogue here.
Yeah,
because she's got the streak. Oh, yeah. And then she like ran off all in a tantrum. That was kind of weird too. Yeah. She was like, "You're different," and she ran away. I was like, "This is weird, man." Anyway,
are you sticking with the 6, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the 6. It's better than average.
Yeah,
it's enjoyable.
Does 5 mean average, or does 5 mean just mid-center or center of what you like? So it's average among shows.
I think it's a better than average animated show for its time. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's what we give it on a scale of 1 to 10. This is an even bigger question. Question number 2 is, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Wolverine and the X-Men, but now that the podcast is over and we're free to move about the internet, Dr. Muhammad Noor, would you watch episode 2? Would you watch the second of your own volition?
I'm going to give 2 answers. I'm going to give a short answer and a long answer. The short answer is yes. That
is a short answer.
The long answer is like, I mean, I'm more thinking the long answer is more in the context of, do I actually think I would, as opposed to just, you know, would I have the inclination to, like, yeah, certainly if anybody wanted to watch it, I would happily watch it with them, and I'd actually kind of look forward to it. Like my son said, hey, let's watch this next. It'd be a big change after Game of Thrones, but we're going to watch this next.
A palate cleanser for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, right. It'd be an intense shift. But I was trying to think if I would, and it's interesting that the plot is almost good enough. But I was trying to think, like, why am I hesitating on this one? Whereas, for example, I watched the second of She-Ra or that new He-Man series or all those things. I was trying to think why it is. And honestly, I think this is not fair. I think my hesitation is that it's not current. And just in the sense of, like, I'll sometimes watch shows that are current just because I figure other people are watching them and you can engage in this interesting conversations with them about that. But this was like, nobody's going to, I could watch the second and third and stuff like that. But I mean, aside from you guys here and maybe some people who are watching the show, there's probably not many people I'm going to run into at work that are going to be like, hey, did you happen to watch the next part of Wolverine and the X-Men? Like from 2009?
Yeah, from
probably not. That's not going to come up. So that makes it unlikely that I actually will, just because of that.
You know, that's a really good point, that if you're watching a current show, it's pretty, you know, let's say something's pretty good, you're going to watch the current show that's pretty good. It doesn't have to be great, but it's pretty good. It's current. If you're watching something that's not current, that nobody's going to be talking about, a lot of people won't know about, it needs to be pretty damn good, because you're not going to get to share it with people. It's not the talk of the town. So it's fully just for pleasure, just for entertainment value. And so it better be pretty high up there, because you're going to enjoy it by yourself.
Exactly. Different threshold.
It's a really good point. What about you, Desmond? Would you watch the second episode of Your Own Volition?
Yeah, because I liked how, I don't know, this is weird. I know it was super relaxing, man. So it'd be something that I would put on, if I was at home work, I just let me put it on in the background while I'm kind of watching, you know. And before I go to sleep, you know, I put it on, like, you know, I'd watch it on my phone, and I'd pass out, you know, on my phone or something. So yeah, I liked it. I thought, I don't know why I found it relaxing. My brain's like, oh, this is very relaxing, Desmond. Let's keep watching it. But yeah, I mean, I would. Because I'm always looking for stuff to binge watch or to put on, you know, at home while I'm trying to find something to put on. Yeah, I would definitely watch it again.
Love it. Desmond's kind of referencing what I call like the toothbrushing show. You know, like you put it on at the end of the night while you're brushing your teeth, or you're kicking off your shoes, or you're putting stuff away. It just kind of, it's the last thing. You don't really have to really get into it. You just kind of have it on while you're finishing up the day. And then if it's great and it's interesting, cool. If it's not, no big deal. You know, you're just flossing. Anyway, so in my notes, I put no, I would not watch the second episode. It's really close. I think Muhammad actually put into words just what I was feeling, but wasn't aware that I was feeling that, in that I enjoyed it and I'd be happy to watch the show. I do love the X-Men, and this wasn't bad in any way. It was good. Like I said, it was better than average for sure. It was fun. It was enjoyable. It was good. But if I'm gonna have a few minutes to spare to watch an X-Men show, I think I would first finish watching the 90s X-Men show, because I think I enjoyed that one a little bit more. So I think, and it's entirely possible that tonight when I go to bed, I'm going to be like, Desmond's words are going to be echoing in my head. I'm going to be like, you know, fuck this. I'm going to put this thing on. That's happened before, where I say no, and then at the end of the night, I get curious and I just start watching something. You know, like I think it was Willow. I don't remember if I said yes or no, but I was on the fence, and I did end up watching possibly more of it.
Nice.
Only maybe 3 episodes though, and I was like, all right, I'm moving on with my life. Anyway, so it's a no
you should
for
say the
me.
WTF for Willow.
But I would encourage other people to watch it, because I think it's going to be enjoyable, and I think I still might watch it, even though I'm giving it a no. We give such mixed messages on this show.
What's the number for Willow? WTF number?
Oh yeah.
Let's pull that up super quick.
I remember that.
It is Desmond. How do you say "I love you" in pager code?
In pager code?
Yeah, I feel like you would know this.
Everybody, I know how to say it in sign language.
Everybody in the live chat, what is "I love you" in pager code? What's the pager code number for it? Muhammad, you don't know either.
I don't even know what pager code means.
I love it, because it was such like a 3-year thing, you know, when pagers were the big thing. Oh, let me check my beeper and make sure that I better stop at a payphone and call somebody, because a friend whose pager code number is 94 wants me to call him back. Oh, stop at the Shell station and let me put in a quarter. Anyway.
Technology, man, that's crazy.
So 143 was pager code for I love you, because it's one letter, 4 letters, 3 letters. 143 was it.
Nice. I was like 214 for Valentine's Day. I don't know.
So anyway,
I know 911, like
yeah. So Willow was episode 143. Willow on Disney Plus as well, WTF 143. And would we watch the second episode, and what did we give it? You'll just have to find out. Myself, Muhammad, and actress Kelly Park. This was a fun one. Maybe. No spoilers.
Maybe.
Anyway.
The podcast was fun.
Yeah, it's always fun with our buddies here, especially with Desmond.
Yeah.
The others were just faking, right?
Nah, we love Kelly too.
Just faking.
All right. Let's move on. Everybody, please give this video a like. Make sure in the comments below you make your suggestions. What Disney spinoff would you like us to cover and review? Or give us something else that you'd like us to review in future months. If there's drama shows you like, or comedies, or sci-fi stuff, whatever it is, make your suggestions in the comments below. WTF and the show. Make sure you go follow Desmond and all of his goodies. Feels like Muhammad wants to say something.
Oh, I'm just waiting for this podcast and stuff.
He's just ready. All right, here we go. I'm not ready. I'm actually like buying time right now. So what I'm trying to say is this podcast just formed the new X-Men with the 3 of us.
Ooh.
I'm not going to be very helpful there. This podcast was excellent.
Exceptional.
This podcast was Judge Judy worthy.
Damn, high praise. No, then Muhammad, you could be like the Professor X. I'll be
Oh.
anybody, but just don't make me like Cyclops. He's so whiny in the movies.
I remember you didn't like Cyclops. I remember that
Such a
specifically. When you were saying you liked
whiny-
them all, I was like, I think I remember you didn't like Cyclops.
All he has is laser eyes. Boring.
It's super powerful.
That's true. They are really powerful. Desmond, who would you be if you were an X-Men?
Oh, an X-Men. Wow. Who would I? I'd be freaking Colossus, man. I'd be freaking tight.
Oh, that'd be cool. Or you could be like Tempest. You could be like the male version of Storm or something, you know? That'd
Oh,
be
yeah,
fun.
there you go. Yeah. I have like white hair. They'd be like, well, I'm the male Storm.
Then I'll be like Thief. I'll be like the male version of Rogue.
Ooh.
You do like it.
And I gotta practice my accent, whatever she's got like a Southern Belle accent. And I'll be like, y'all can call me Thief, but don't touch me or I'll get your powers. That's whatever it is. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is everybody please remember what Mr. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg likes to say, which is
Don't forget to be an organ donor, and don't forget to watch the first of things.
all right, everybody, freeze frame like Beast.
That shitty smile and pretend that